Look at the AI-generated Coca-Cola ad. It shows the limits of cheap marketing even for big giants. Then look at Apple, choosing handmade animation to stand out as a premium reference. But here's the secret. Local brands and startups are watching those giants and they are taking notes. This isn't just a corporate study. It's a blueprint for every 3D freelancer who wants to position themselves for the years to come. In 2026, the most profitable move you as a 3D freelancer can make is to position yourself on the quality side of this divide, no matter how big your clients are. Even smaller brands recognize that to win their audience, they need to emulate the winners at the top. They see Apple's success and they realize that high-level marketing isn't a luxury, it's a necessity to build a long-lasting brand. So many clients are waking up to the fact that cheap marketing is just a race to the bottom. They cannot win. As a 3D freelancer, you take part in helping them to cross that line towards the premium category. Every product business right now needs to make a choice. They need to choose if they want to take part in the race to the bottom, although they might not realize this. But basically it's, do we want to save on marketing, going the AI route, or do we want to double down on more marketing and branding? And this is a choice you can't make for them, but you can help them by pointing them to the inevitable doom of the downward spiral of the AI or the cheap race, not even just the AI race. It's, if you do not spend enough on marketing, you will be on the losing side of the market division. Most don't realize, but many realize that they do need to take that decision. This strong division is a great chance for you to sort through your clients, sort out those who choose the cheap path, and only concentrate on those who are on the right side of this. Here's the strategic insight. The cheap or AI side of this divide is currently built on subsidies. So they all built on AI being cheap right now, or comparatively cheap. But this is because AI companies are losing a lot of money to get this market share. And at some point, they need to be profitable. If you look at OpenAI, last year, I think in the last quarter, they lost about 12 billion with a B in just one quarter alone of financial losses, just to get the market share. And all AI companies are the same here. At some point, their investors, the venture capital, demands profitability. In OpenAI's case, most investors will demand profitability by 2027. This will most likely lead to AI prices skyrocketing. So everyone who now builds their business solely on AI will have a bad awakening. Let's be honest, some clients will always choose the cheap side of things, no matter how good the arguments against it are. There are just people out there who do not want to be educated. They've decided they don't need facts. And this is fine. But for you, this means let go of them. Don't try to force something down their throat that they do not want. They do not want the quality. They've made their decision. They are free to make the decision, no matter how wrong this decision is. If you think about the energy if you ever convinced a cheap client to spend a bit more, and think about the energy you spent there, and then how little money you still made with that client. And now imagine this amount of energy if this would have gotten you one better paying client, or even for every 10th time you try to convince a cheap client, you only for every 10th time you get a better client, a high paying client. This will still be more money with the same amount of effort, but put this amount of effort into outreach and getting the right clients and not trying to convince those cheap clients, because at the first sign of someone being cheaper, they will ditch you. So it's a wasted energy. Spend your energy on the ones on the right side of this division. Now you might think that the comparison with Coca-Cola or Apple is not really suited to you because you can never reach them, and this might be true, but there are a lot of small and medium brands that are reachable for you, and they have to take the same decision path. They need to make this decision as well, and they more and more realize, or at least some of them realize, that they need to go the quality route, and average is not enough anymore. Since AI is making average very cheap, quality will stand out even more in the years to come. And the ones who realize this will now double down on quality. So this is your chance to be their partner on this path. When you provide visual work that creates a loyal fan base for them, you will be a strategic asset for them and not just some vendor creating some images. Be that strategic partner. So while some companies cut down on their marketing costs, others are expanding on them. This is the divide I was talking about. Some go the route to cheap, and others recognize they need to build a brand and scale, and they are putting real money down that path. Your success in this market is defined mostly on who you say no to. Identify immediately if a lead is just looking for a cheap solution and a one-off, or if they are really looking to grow their brand and grow their marketing. And definitely always say no to the ones who are looking just for the cheap solution. Look for the clients who value intentionality. Look for the clients who value real craft because they recognize they need it to grow their brand. By choosing to only work with those quality-focused brands, this will also reflect on your portfolio, by your portfolio just containing those quality works at some point, and this will attract more of the same kind of clients naturally. For your craft, this means that now is the time to double down on the things that really matter in terms of intentionality. Double down on your lighting skills, on your materials, on composition, and on storytelling. Double down on the things that are human, that create emotions that AI can never replicate. Don't focus on being faster than AI. Just focus on being better than it and filling the gaps it can never fill. The skill of understanding a brand's soul will never, and I mean never, be commoditized. This is your leverage against every technology to come. So being an A+ professional is your ticket to the upper 10% of the market where competition will get smaller and smaller. And this is your edge for a sustainable and growing business. If you understand that running a 3D freelance business is more than just being a good artist, you should join our free community. Link will be down below. There we talk about this and many other topics. Would be glad to see you in one of our community calls, and also make sure to leave a subscription and turn on the notification. It helps out a lot.